I have explained what is latent heat of fusion, what is specific heat capacity, what is water equivalent and all. So in today's class, what is that we are going to do is, we are going to see principle of calorimetry. Okay, so today's class, the important part is your principle of calorimetry. What is your principle of calorimetry is, if you have a hot body and if you have a cold body, if you are bringing this hot body and cold body together, then what happens is, okay, heat energy will transfer from hot body to cold body. Okay, some amount of heat energy will transfer from high temperature body to low temperature body. Okay, now when this heat energy keeps transferring from hot body to cold body, okay, our target is what is the equilibrium temperature, because heat energy transfer takes place from high temperature body to low temperature body till energy, okay, lost by hot body becomes equal to energy gained by cold body, and indirectly that refers to equilibrium temperature. Okay, so I'll write that, okay, it is nothing but basically it is conservation of energy. Okay, it is nothing but basically conservation of energy. Okay, now what it says is, okay, heat lost by hot body is equal to heat gained by okay cold body. Okay, so this is your statement. Now before I explain, okay, so in school level maths, okay, if you have profit or gain, what is that you do is, you will write it as selling price minus cost price. Similarly, loss, you will be writing it as cost price minus selling price. Okay, so here heat lost by hot body, when you are writing it, okay, M into S into, you have to write initial temperature minus, okay, final temperature. Okay, initial minus final is what you are supposed to write, because this is loss. Okay, so bigger value minus smaller value. Okay, you don't need to keep negative sign once again. Okay, so when we are using the word loss, sign is automatically taken care. Okay, so you have to be careful. Okay, this theta I represents initial temperature. Okay, and theta final will represent final temperature. Now this must be equal to, okay, I mean whatever hot body, okay, if it is some M1 S1, then this will become some M2 into specific heat S2 into, this is cold body, it is gaining. Gaining means final value is more. So you have to write theta final minus theta initial. Okay, so here when you have hot body, you are going to write it as initial minus final. Here when you have cold body, okay, it is gaining, so that is why you will write final minus initial. Okay, so this is your principle of calorimetry. Okay, because whatever energy is lost by one body, automatically that will be gained by the another body. Okay, now, okay, this process happens, okay, this process happens, that is energy transfer happens till okay, till equilibrium temperature is attained. Okay, equilibrium temperature is attained. Okay, till equilibrium temperature is attained, heat energy transfer keeps happening like this. Okay, so this is what you are supposed to understand basically from the principle of calorimetry. Okay, now I can give an example. Okay, so who will initiate means, okay, always what will react, I mean whatever process will initiate the thing means hot body. Okay, because hot body is having high energy. Okay, so I will put it in an example manner. Let us say you have some person standing here, another person standing here on the edge of the pole. Okay, in some imaginary situation like this. Now if there are steps in the middle, okay, if there are steps in the middle, okay, now how will, okay, a successful I mean for both persons, okay, to save themselves, okay, I will name this as, okay, cold body and I will name this as hot body. Okay, so for these two persons to save themselves, okay, if hot body comes, okay, one step, okay, then cold body is also supposed to come a same step by same distance, or else about this point there will be some torque and imbalance occurs. So automatically if this comes first, this goes down, if this fellow comes first, this will go down. Okay, so both happens together, but this fellow will start taking the first step. If he lifts one leg, then this fellow is also supposed to lift his one leg and he also must try to come forward like this. Okay, so exactly in a similar manner, okay, this is your equilibrium temperature point. Okay, so till equilibrium temperature is attained, hot body keeps giving energy, cold body keeps taking energy. Okay, and once equilibrium temperature is reached, okay, what will happen is both will, okay, reach the middle point. Okay, next one more example that I can give is, okay, so here let us say there is a kidnapper and let us say this is your father. Okay, two people are in a ship like this. Okay, now this kidnapper and kid are there in the middle of some river like this. Okay, now what happens here is, okay, if kidnapper sends the kid, okay, then father will take this or parent will take the kid and he will leave without giving the money. Okay, and if father gives the money, there is possibility that this kidnapper could, okay, take the money and leave directly. Okay, for a successful transaction to happen between these two, okay, what is supposed to happen is, okay, a calorie, I mean if there is a bridge kind of stuff like this, okay, if father starts coming this way one step, okay, then kidnapper also will come one step in the middle, I mean like this, somewhere they will exchange the bag and kid, and then once they get the money, okay, kidnapper takes the money bag and he leave, father takes the kid and he leave. Okay, this is a successful transaction for both these people. Okay, here, okay, what is this means? This is your, okay, you can assume this to be your hot body, you can assume this to be your cold body like this. Okay, so my point is, okay, your hot body, because of its high temperature, okay, when it comes in contact with the low temperature body, it start giving out energy. Okay, it will give energy only if cold body is taking. If cold body is not taking energy, hot body will obviously not give energy. Okay, so this process happens till, okay, this process happens till equilibrium temperature is reached. Okay, once equilibrium temperature is reached, no further heat transfer will happen. Okay, so this is your principle of calorimetry. Okay, now based on this principle of calorimetry, what is that we are going to do is, we are going to solve, okay, simple basic questions. Okay, then we will move ahead. Okay, so I hope you have understood what I have tried to explain here. So I will erase it. Okay, now based on this principle of calorimetry, okay, we will try to solve simple questions. First question is, okay, so by the time you are studying this thermodynamics part, okay, I hope you have learned simple basic mechanics. So let us say, okay, your first application is, let us say you have a surface like this. Okay, let us assume the surface is rough, and let us say you have, okay, a 2 kg block and its initial velocity is v naught equal to 10 meters per second. Okay, the question is, let us say the coefficient of kinetic friction, because this body is moving on the surface, obviously there will be kinetic friction. So let us say your mu k is 0.2. Okay, now if your coefficient of kinetic friction is mu k is equal to 0.2, what is my question is, okay, find, okay, heat energy, okay, acquired by block. That is my first question. Find heat energy acquired by block. This is my first question. My second question is, okay, if this kinetic energy is known, let us say your specific heat of this block, your specific heat of block is, let us say it is some 5 joule per kg degrees centigrade like this. Okay, and let us say initial temperature is T initial is equal to 15 degrees centigrade. Okay, these values are given. Okay, now your second question is, find temperature of, final temperature of the block. This is your question. Okay, now how will you solve this question? Okay, so you can pause the video and then try the solution, but anyhow I will explain it. Okay, so whatever, okay, this block initially, if you are taking it here, this block is having what energy means, this block is having kinetic energy. So how much is the kinetic energy means, it is half mv square. Okay, because it is at the ground level, potential energy is anyhow 0. So initially this block will have energy. Okay, now in mechanics, without discussion of thermodynamics, okay, if you are trying to solve the question in work power energy, okay, what is that you do is, you will write work done by all forces equal to change in kinetic energy by the time it stops. Okay, so this question is find heat energy acquired by the block. I should have given it in more meaningful manner. Okay, by the time it stops. Okay, by the time it stops, okay, you are supposed to give, okay, final heat energy acquired the block and final temperature. So in mechanics, if you are solving this question, you would have written work done by friction plus work done by normal reaction plus work done by gravitational force. Work done by all forces is equal to change in kinetic energy. So final kinetic energy is 0 minus initial kinetic energy is half v naught square. This is what you will be writing in mechanics. And if you are asked stopping distance, it will become work done by friction. Frictional force is mu k into n. So that is mu k mg into stopping distance plus work done by normal reaction is 0. Work done by gravitational force is 0 because they are perpendicular to each other. So this is negative because frictional force will act backwards, and then plus 0 is equal to, you will write minus half m v naught square, and from here stopping distance and all whatever is asked you will calculate it. Okay, this is what you usually do in mechanics, but here in thermodynamics this is not the question. What is the question is find heat energy acquired by the block. So how will you calculate heat energy here is, your initial total energy is what? It is half m v naught square. So this half m v naught square is your total energy. Now after it stops, okay, where did this energy go? Initially you have kinetic energy. After it stops, no energy at all. So that means from some energy value to 0 you are getting it. That means that missing energy will obviously get converted into heat. So what is your heat energy developed? Okay, your first question answer is, okay, heat energy developed. Okay, heat energy developed is, your heat energy developed is equal to, okay, it is half m v naught square. Whatever is the energy that is missing, that is only your heat energy. So that will give you half into your mass is 2 into v naught square, that is equal to 10 square. 2 will go off, you will get it is 100 joules. Okay, next, now coming to temperature, okay, final temperature, your heat energy, this half m v naught square, you can write it as mass m into specific heat of block that you have into delta theta. M will go off from here. Okay, your specific heat is given as 5 times theta final minus initial temperature is 15 degrees. Okay, you will get the answer in degree centigrade because this part you are taking in degree centigrade. From here v naught square means that become 10 square by 2. You will get the final temperature, whatever it is, if you simplify. Okay, so like this you have to solve the question. Okay, so simple questions he will relate. Okay, you must be able to do it. Okay, now we'll continue. Okay, next, coming to the second application, those who want to try it, you can. Let us say you have, okay, next situation is like this. Okay, there is a bullet, its mass is small m, it is coming with some velocity v naught like this. Okay, now it is penetrating into a sandbag like this. Let us say you have a big sandbag. Okay, now by the time it penetrates into this sandbag, okay, what is the question is, okay, if bullet penetrates into the sandbag, if bullet penetrates into sandbag, okay, find temperature raised, something like this. Okay, he will give values in the question. Okay, so mass of sandbag is some other m dash. Okay, he will give it like this. Now when bullet gets embedded, okay, so your initial, you will have only kinetic energy, that is half m v naught square. Okay, when it gets embedded, okay, what happens is, if it eventually, that sandbag, if it comes to rest, okay, in fact in mechanics how we have solved this question is, if you have some block getting embedded like this, then this combined system of m plus m dash, okay, whatever, small m plus, okay, m dash will keep oscillating like this, and you are asked like this angle theta could be asked, or this height h could be asked. So you will do momentum conservation. This is called ballistic pendulum situation. Okay, so here you will be asked like to calculate maximum height or angle. Okay, here that is not the case. Okay, you don't need to, I mean, if multiple choice questions types are asked, they could even ask in that manner. But here initially you have only one energy, that is half m v naught square. Now eventually when that sandbag oscillates and comes back, when the oscillations die, this entire energy of half m v naught square that you have will get converted into heat energy. So that will become, if both are taking heat, you have to write m plus mass of sandbag m dash into specific heat. Okay, if both are same, you have to take s. Okay, but if it is not the case, then you have to write mass of bullet into specific heat of bullet into delta theta plus mass of sandbag into specific heat of sandbag into delta theta. Okay. Now if nothing is mentioned about this sandbag details, anything, you neglect this. Okay, and then directly equate these two answer depending upon what is asked in the question. Okay. Next, another application where they'll ask simple basic questions is, okay, they'll take some block of mass m, okay, and then they'll release it from some height h. Okay, this is some ice, let us say, okay, raindrops before it, if at the atmospheric level, let us say it is in the 0 degrees centigrade or some negative temperature degree centigrade value. Okay, now when this ice is at some negative temperature, let us say, okay, and let us say it is falling into the ground. Okay, now in this scenario, okay, if you are asked some values, if I give you, okay, if I say if ice just melts after falling, okay, he will give you with values in the question, but I am just keeping it simple. If ice just melts after falling, okay, onto the ground, okay, onto ground, okay, write the energy equation, okay, because write energy equation like this. Okay, now I am not looking into the book. Okay, in the book he will give you values. Latent heat of fusion is this much, mass of ice is this much, specific heat of ice is so and so, height is some 10 meters, something like that he will give it. Now when ice falls onto the ground, initially here what is that you have is, you have potential energy of mgh. Okay, now when this potential energy, okay, initially if there is kinetic energy, you have to take that kinetic energy as well, but let us say it is dropping. Okay, I have given it in the question, let us say there is dropping. Okay, if there is velocity, you have to consider kinetic energy half m v naught square along with potential energy of mgh. So here it is just simply dropping. Now if it drops, okay, initially you have potential energy of mgh. Okay, now that will be getting converted into, if it melts, okay, if ice just melts is what I have given. Now if it is just melting from this temperature of minus theta, it should come to 0, and then after coming to 0 it should melt. So that means this potential energy that you have is being used to convert this ice to 0. Okay, so 0 minus theta. Okay, so it is gaining heat energy, so final minus initial, 0 minus theta to come to 0 plus, for conversion it is mass times latent heat of fusion. Okay, so that mass anyhow will cancel off, this theta temperature is known, specific heat of ice is half calorie per gram, latent heat of fusion is 80 calorie per gram. If height is given, you can substitute the values and get the answer. Okay, so I have just taken random values that have come to my mind, but okay, you will have perfect values coming in the exam. Okay, so you don't need to worry about it too much. Okay, next, we will continue further. Okay, so next is we will do questions related to mixtures. Okay, next is, okay, mixture of components. Okay, it is mixtures. So what is that you are going to do is, you are going to mix hot body with cold body, and you are supposed to give the equilibrium temperature. Okay, so let us start with simple question. Okay, so first question is, let us say there is a container whose mass is 50 grams, specific heat of container is 5 calorie per gram degrees centigrade, something like this. Okay, imaginary container. Okay, does this much value exist on ante? I don't know. So you have water. Okay, initially let us say it is at temperature of T1 equal to 20 degrees centigrade. Now what is that you are doing is, you have water at, okay, 20 grams of water. Okay, this is water. You are mixing it into this container. Okay, I don't need to give specific heat. Your specific heat of water is 1 calorie per gram degrees centigrade, and your temperature is 60 degrees centigrade. Okay, so what is that you are doing is, you are mixing a high temperature body whose temperature is at 60 degrees centigrade. You are mixing it with another container whose temperature is at 20 degrees centigrade. Now if you are mixing these two, okay, your hot body is high temperature body, obviously. Okay, so this 60 degrees centigrade 20 grams of water is your high temperature body. Now when you are mixing this high temperature body into this low temperature body, what happens is, this heat energy, okay, will be observed, okay, by this low temperature body, and this heat energy will be lost by high temperature body. Okay, so in this scenario, if I try to apply principle of calorimetry, okay, so what principle of calorimetry says is, heat lost by hot body is equal to heat gained by cold body. Heat gained by cold body. So this is your principle of calorimetry. So as I have discussed, loss means you have to take initial minus final, and you have to, in case of gain, you have to take final minus initial. So your hot body, how much it is means, your hot body is 20 grams of water. So 20 into specific heat of water is 1. Okay, I am using ms delta theta formula for this water part. So 20 grams into specific heat is 1 into hot body, so loss, that means initial minus final. So 60 minus common temperature or equilibrium temperature. Okay, that will be equal to, okay, so here I must have written this step. Okay, that is, let equilibrium temperature be theta. I must have written it in the first itself. Okay, so that if it is coming to theta, your loss is this much. Now coming to your gain part, okay, your gain, how much it is means, it is 50 into, okay, specific heat of container is 5 times. For gain, what is that you do is, okay, your gain is, okay, your gain is, how much it is means, you have to take final minus initial. So theta minus initial temperature is 20. Okay, so this is your theta common. From here cancel off the common terms. Okay, 0 0 multiplication is what you are doing. So 25 into theta c minus 20, and that is 2 times 60 minus theta. Simplify and get the value of theta, that will give you the required equilibrium temperature. Okay, so this is what you are supposed to do for mixers. Okay, now next let us slightly increase the level. Okay, now I have mixed 2 liquids. Now in the next scenario, okay, what is that I am going to do is, I am going to mix 2 liquids into another container whose water equivalent is given. In such a case, you are supposed to calculate the equilibrium temperature. Okay, so now we will do that scenario. Okay, so let me erase it. So next question is, for clarity sake, okay, let me take the standard values. Water equivalent is 60 grams. Okay, you have water equivalent of 60 grams. Your temperature is 10 degrees centigrade. Okay, your temperature of container is 10 degrees. No. Yeah, 10 degrees centigrade. No, we will check. Okay, I think I have written it wrong. Let us not take 60. let us take 20 and 20. Okay, answer should match with the options, so I will take 20 and 20. Okay, next you have 40 and 60. 40 grams 60 degrees centigrade water. Okay, I will take M3 and theta 3. Okay, this is 60 degrees centigrade water. You are mixing simultaneously, you are mixing another container with 60 and 10. Okay, 60 grams 10 degrees centigrade. Okay, the question is find equilibrium temperature. Okay, so let us say this is M1, let us say this is your theta 1. Okay, question is find equilibrium temperature. Okay, now try this answer. Okay, then I will explain the solution. I have reduced your work. I have given water equivalent. So everything is water indirectly. Okay. So first sample is at 10, second sample at 20, third sample at 60. Okay. Okay, now I think I have given sufficient time for trying it. Okay, now what is that we are going to do is, okay, here two possibilities will arise. Okay, one is your case 1, final temperature is between, okay, your final temperature is between 10 and 20 degrees centigrade. This is one possibility. Okay, your second case is case 2. Okay, final temperature is between 20 and 60. Final temperature is, okay, between 20 and 60 degrees centigrade. Okay, now here many of you think there are two possibilities and you will get two answers, but no. Okay, you will get only a single answer. Now in this case or in this case, okay, if you manage to stick to the basics, okay, if you manage to stick to the basics, okay, your answer will be same in both the cases. Okay, only thing is one term will come on right hand side in one equation, in the other equation that term will come on the left hand side. Okay, how that is the case I will tell you. Okay, so now let me solve this. Okay, so let theta be the final temperature. Let theta be final temperature. Now if theta is final temperature, this 10 degrees body will, okay, gain heat, 20 and 60 degrees bodies will lose heat. Okay, so this 10 degrees body will gain heat, okay, if the temperature is between 10 and 20 degrees centigrade, and this 20 and 60 degrees bodies will lose heat. So if I write the equation, okay, so M1S1, okay, that is specific heat of water, times, okay, theta, I mean final temperature is theta minus initial temperature is 10, that must be equal to, heat gained by this 20 grams is m2 into, okay, if I assume this to be my m2, okay, m2 into specific heat of water times, okay, your temperature difference, okay, your temperature difference is 20 minus theta, initial minus, okay, final, because it is gain, loss, okay, this m2 is having loss, plus m3 into specific heat of water into, okay, you have finished 20 minus theta, so that will give you, okay, once again 60 minus theta for this m3 part, okay. So if I substitute the values, okay, I will get specific heat of water term will cancel off, but still I will write, okay, 60 into specific heat of water into, okay, there is no point in writing, you can anyhow simplify, okay. In the next step we will simplify any one equation. If you simplify, that will be balanced. Here in this case, if you write the equation, okay, I need some space, so I will just erase this small line here and then I will close it like this. So I will start writing the equation. So now if temperature is between 20 and 60, both 20 degrees centigrade body and 10 degrees centigrade body will gain heat energy, okay. So if theta is greater than 20, this will gain heat, this will gain heat, and this will lose heat, okay. So in this case it is m1 into specific heat of water into, okay, theta minus 10 plus m2 into specific heat of water into theta minus 20 is equal to m3 into specific heat of water into, okay, here the space is not sufficient, but I can write it as 60 minus theta here, okay. So I hope this corner part is visible to you. So let me see. Yeah, it is visible. So it is 60 minus theta here, okay. Now observe carefully. This term, if you send it to other side, this equation will transform into this equation, okay. Once again, this box that you have, this term, that is heat gained by 20 degrees body, okay, or the container, okay, if you shift it to other side, what equation that you are going to get is this equation, okay. So if you, that's why I am telling you, you stick to the basics, you will get answer for everything, okay. So getting the answer, how you will get it means, okay, only by sticking to basics, okay. If you manage to stick to basics, you will automatically get the answers, okay. So you have to always consider, okay, basics, that is hot body or high temperature body will lose heat, okay, cold body or low temperature body will gain heat, till when, till temperature becomes same. So I don't know what is the answer, so I have assumed let it be some theta, then I will do the calculation. Now if I do the calculation, okay, I can get answer between 10 and 20 or, okay, between 20 and 60, okay, but it will be only a single answer, okay. You solve this equation and this equation, both are same, you solve any one equation, still you will get the same answer, okay. So in this case, let me try to solve this equation. So 60 times 1 times theta minus 10 is equal to m2 is 20 into 20 minus theta plus mass of water is 40 grams, so 40 into 1 into 60 minus theta, okay. So now all these 10 terms you can take it out, okay. So 20 if you take common, okay, this will become 3 times theta minus 10. If you take 20 common out in both the expressions, that will give you 20 minus theta plus 2 times 60 minus theta, okay. If you take 20 is common out of the equation, okay. Now solve for the equation, you will get the answer for theta value. Okay, so if you simplify, how much you are getting, that is your final answer. Okay, so this is your basic idea. Okay, next we will continue further. Okay, now in the next coming scenarios we will mix ice with water. Okay, and then we will check the resultant. But before that, I have forgot in the last class, that is heating curve. So we will try to do heating curve first, and then we will come back to mixtures once again. So a small part I have missed. Okay, so that is your heating curve. Okay, so heating curve at constant, at constant power. Okay, heat curve at constant power. Okay, so constant power is what, at constant rate you are supplying energy. Now here in this case, before I solve, okay, you need to know certain basic things, okay, which I hope you did not forget yet. Okay, so what are those basic things means? Okay, your power is energy by time. So if you want energy, what is that you are going to do? Energy is power into time. Okay, next, now if you have a graph, this graph, it is a straight line and it will be y equal to mx plus c. Now if this angle is theta, your slope is m equal to tan theta, which is also equal to dy by dx, and for a straight line this is same as delta y by delta x. Okay, okay, which is nothing but you take 2 points, y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, okay, where x1 comma y1 is a point here, x2 comma y2 is another point here. Okay, so this part, okay, I hope you knew it from maths. Okay, now using this, okay, I will try to draw heating curve for a body, okay, at different temperatures. Now how is that I do, I will tell you. Okay, so just hold on. Okay, so coming to heating curve, okay, what is your heating curve is, okay, now let us consider a body. Okay, let us say it is water. Okay, some solid substance is what they are taking. On y-axis, what is that we are doing is, on y-axis we are, okay, plotting, okay, different axes like this. Okay, on y-axis you have temperature of body, okay, theta. On x-axis, what is that you are doing is, you are taking time. Okay, now okay, this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. Okay, right, now experimentally it was found that, okay, if you are heating a solid, okay, initially what happens is, okay, till some temperature theta 1, okay, so what happens is this solid will increase its temperature linearly with respect to time, okay, when you are supplying constant power. Okay, when you are supplying constant power. Okay, till when ante, let us say this is some point A. Okay, till point A its temperature is observed to be, it is increasing linearly. Okay, now I need space, I will erase this part. Now from O to A, this is the situation. Okay, now once it reaches solid state, then what happens is, okay, till some point B, okay, time t2, what happens is this solid will melt. Okay, so it melts and it gets converted into liquid. Now once again after it comes into liquid state, okay, then it becomes a liquid, and once it reaches liquid, it will increase its temperature further up to some temperature theta 2. Okay, next, now okay, once it reaches this, okay, some melting point is reached, okay, then what happens is it will start boiling. Okay, so liquid becomes gas. Okay, it boils and it becomes gas. So this point will be some, okay, this is T3, this is T4. Then once it boils, once again its temperature will further increase and it will get converted into gas state. Okay, now, okay, this is the graph. Okay, this is, okay, a basic graph, that is what is called as heating curve. Now this is drawn experimentally. Now interpretation of this part is most important thing. Now for example, if you take your ice at T equal to 0, let us say it is some negative temperature or something, okay, at time T equal to 0. Now, okay, at 0 degree centigrade what happens is, okay, your ice melts to water, but let us say here the graph is starting from 0 means you cannot take water scenario, but you must have understood, like if you have ice from minus 20 degrees centigrade to linearly it will start increasing till 0. Once it comes to 0, it requires some time for conversion from, okay, solid to liquid. Okay, here solid is there, here liquid is there. Now to break the bonds, to absorb some energy, some time is required here. From here to here, once again temperature increases linearly with respect to time. From here to here, once again it boils. Like this is kind of 100 degrees centigrade. This is kind of 0 degrees for ice. Okay, but your graph is not starting at 0 if you are taking water. If you are taking water, your graph will start at some negative point itself. And here this is kind of 100 degrees centigrade. For reference sake, okay, I am indicating water boiling scenario. Okay, so if you look at the graph, this is not 0. Okay, so for some general solid, okay, when it is in solid state, you increase the temperature, okay, it will come linearly. Okay, this graph comes linearly, then it becomes flat, then linear increase, then flat, then it will increase linearly. Okay, now from this graph, okay, how the problems are, okay, we need to understand. So here coming to the problems part, okay, now in region OA, okay, if you take region OA, that means in solid state, okay, now looking at the graph, when a graph is given to you, okay, you can relate, okay, you can relate temperature versus time. So now your heat energy delta Q is ms delta theta. This is your formula for heat energy. Now your heat is what? Power into time. Okay, so P times T1, okay, it is in fact T1 minus 0, that is P times T1, okay, because energy is power into time, that is equal to m into specific heat of solid into, okay, right, so I will write delta T, okay, for clarity sake, okay, here it is, if it starts from 0, T1 minus 0, if it is starting from some other time, it is delta T, so power into delta T is equal to m into s into delta theta. So that will give you delta theta by delta T is m times s solid, ulta, okay, so I should have written delta theta by delta T is P by mass times specific heat of solid. Okay, so depending upon values in the question and graph, you can use it and calculate it. From here, your delta theta by delta T is inversely proportional to specific heat capacity of solid. Okay, this is your final conclusion. Okay, so this part is your slope. Okay, your slope. So if slope is angle with x-axis. If slope is more, okay, if slope is more, this part is your slope. Slope is more, specific heat capacity is less. Slope is less, specific heat capacity, slope is less, specific heat capacity is more. Okay, so it is inverse proportionality. Okay, this is regarding region OA. Okay, from region OA you can derive these two results. Okay, next, in problems you will be using this. Okay, they will give you simple questions. So if you have understood what is meant by the slope part, you will be able to do it. Okay, just look at the graph, look what angle he is giving, 30 degrees or 50 degrees, substitute that, tan of 30 degrees, you do it. If coordinates are given, okay, use y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1 relation to get the answer. Okay, now next, coming to region AB. Okay, so I hope you have taken down. Now coming to region AB. Okay, so your region AB. Now in region AB, what is happening is your solid is getting converted into liquid. Now what is heat energy here means, we are writing delta Q is equal to m times LF. No, it is nothing but latent heat of transformation. That is, here it is latent heat of fusion is the thing that we are going to use. So here it is delta Q is equal to mass times latent heat of fusion. Now here your delta Q that you have is nothing but power times your T2 minus T1, that is equal to m times LF. So now your T2 minus T1 here is directly proportional to latent heat of fusion. Okay, so if T2 minus T1 and if you compare T3 minus T4, T3 minus T4 part you will have latent heat of vaporization, right? So if you assume this to be D, in region CD, I don't need to explain much. In region CD, once again, okay, if you write, okay, power times T4 minus T3, you will get mass times latent heat of vaporization. So T4 minus T3 is directly proportional to latent heat of vaporization. So if I give you a graph and tell me, if I ask you which is big, latent heat of fusion or latent heat of vaporization, okay, look at the gap. Okay, how many seconds gap, whichever is big, that value is more, because your time gap is directly proportional to latent heat of fusion and latent heat of vaporization. So whichever is big is asked. Okay, look at this from the graph, look which is big. If this is big, latent heat of vaporization is more. If this is big, latent heat of fusion is more. Okay, and coming to the slope part, okay, between region BC, if you take, okay, if you are taking region BC, this is once again a straight line. Here also you have to consider this slope and all. So if you consider slope, once again, okay, your slope is, okay, because it is a straight line similar to this OA, your slope is inversely proportional to specific heat of liquid. Okay, in the starting it is, this region is, okay, indicating, okay, inversely proportional to specific heat of solid here. Here it is inversely proportional to specific heat of liquid. Here it is inversely proportional to specific heat of, okay, your slope is, okay, I am talking of slope M, slope M. So your slope is inversely proportional to specific heat of gas. Okay, so looking at these slopes, for whichever thing this slope is big, for that part your specific heat is less. Okay, so if slope of this is biggest of all compared to specific heat of solid and gas, your specific heat is, if slope is big, specific heat will be less. Okay, it is inverse proportionality. Okay, so based on these graphs you will have simple questions. Now once you have understood this graph properly, it's not going to be a big deal. Okay, so once again I repeat, in heating curves you don't need to worry, just look at the coordinates. If coordinates are not known, angles will be given. Okay, if coordinates are given, for slope your formula is m2 minus, y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. If coordinates are not given and angles are given, slope m is tan theta, that is angle with x axis. That's all. So for straight line part, your slope is inversely proportional to specific heat capacity. For horizontal part, your latent heat of fusion your time gap is directly proportional to latent heat of fusion and vaporization. Use these ideas to solve the questions. Okay, so in the next class we will continue with mixing ice and water. If you mix ice and water, you can get ice, you can get water. It could be combination of ice and water, it could be only ice, only water. So all those possibilities we will discuss in the next video. Okay, so that's all for today.